Don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. On this edition, we're going to be breaking down the Saints' 22-17 victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. We're also going to be taking some phone calls later on in the show, talk a little bit about the game, talk a little bit about Jimmy Graham, talk a little bit about Jeff Duncan's article on Michael Thomas, wherever you want to go with it, all right? But we're going to start with this game tonight, preseason game number 2 for the New Orleans Saints. It was some highs and there were some lows. There were some things that were positive in this game, things that the Saints can carry on to next week and into the regular season. And then there are things in this game where there's that old saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And when I say that, look no further than the penalties. The New Orleans Saints, double-digit penalties, almost 200 yards of penalties, man. Offensive line just looked like absolute slaw out there today. Trevor Penning was getting whooped from times. He won some matchups too. But the way that he was getting whooped out there, that's definitely not what you want to see from your left tackle. You look at Isaiah Foskey, getting chewed out by Dennis Allen. Man, there were so many things that we can actually talk about that were negative in this game, but we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the positive, though. I think that when you're looking at positivity, look no further than Kendre Miller. The running back out of TCU, the Saints drafted in the 3rd round. He caught a really good wheel route. He almost looked like a wide receiver out there, catching that pass from Jameis Winston and also punching it in. And I just think that this is amazing because last week we all thought that maybe Kendre Miller was probably going to be missing a substantial amount of time. And now he's out there catching passes and running the ball in between the tackles for a touchdown, looking as advertised. And I think that was a plus. Also, what I felt was a plus was Shaq Davis. Shaq Davis caught a lot of contested catches out there. Should have had a touchdown. Was called back due to Brian Edwards, who I feel like is probably going to be getting his walking papers really, really soon. But, Shaq Davis, I thought he was really impressive, had a 40-yard catch in traffic. And I just think that the big man coming out of South Carolina State came out highly touted. A lot of Saints fans were rallying behind him because of his skill set and his athletic ability. And he did a really good job. He took a step forward on tonight. And also Jake Haener. Jake Haener had a really good game, in my opinion. There were some passes that I feel like he threw on the money, especially the pass to Lucas Kroll. Lucas Kroll, you got to come down with that catch in the back in the end zone. There were times where Lucas Kroll looked like an absolute monster. He caught one catch in traffic from Jameis Winston, and then the next day, he's missing wide open passes. I think when it comes to Lucas Kroll, the one thing that's going to get him from not being on the field is his consistency as a pass catcher, because you got to be able to catch some of these passes. It's good to put up those highlight reels and stuff like that, but you got to catch the simple stuff as well. And I just think that it was just too much of a mixed bag. He did some good things, but it was a little bit of a mixed bag. But I think Jake Haener threw the ball really well in this game. As far as the negative, look, I think I'm about to tick some people off, but if I'm going to sit up here and talk about a guy positively, I got to come up. I got to bring up these flaws. Jameis Winston is too much of a mixed bag, man. Seriously. I still stand by what I feel as far as him being a starting quarterback in the league. But I will say this. How he played tonight is why you have these people jumping out of the trees and feel validated in their criticism about Jameis Winston. Because Jameis Winston will go out there, he'll throw a straight dime on a wheel route to Kendre Miller, and then he'll turn around and throw the ball into quadruple coverage because Shaq Davis is 6'5". Now, I understand why Jameis is doing what he's doing, right? Jameis believes in the receivers. He believes that his guys are better than the other guys. But sometimes you just got to be smart with the decisions that you make. It's not so much about making the play. Sometimes you just got to make a play. For example, there was a pass that Jameis Winston threw. I want to say it was the pass to Lucas Krull. Now, it ended up being positive and ended up being a highlight reel type catch for Lucas Krull. But if you look, you had, I don't know if it was Darrell Williams or Ellis Merriweather right there in the middle, like all by himself. So he would have got a first down regardless. But instead of him actually going to that guy, he went to Lucas Krull. And I just feel like a lot of times he holds on to the ball too long in order for him to make the play. Sometimes you got to make a play. And I just think that when you have too much of that up and down, this is the main reason why people come on here and say, oh, he's not a starting quarterback. Oh, he's not good enough. Because the decisions that he makes. Jameis Winston has starting quarterback arm talent. But once again, that means absolutely nothing if you're not consistent at what you're doing. And you got to make a smarter decisions. Now, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it like Jameis Winston is out here with third and fourth string guys, and you have these other guys on the bubble. He's going to be here tomorrow, but more than likely these guys aren't. So he's trying to give these guys opportunity to showcase their talent. Or you can just say to yourself, man, this dude is just completely reckless. Whatever side you want to stand on, I mean, two things can be true. But I have nothing but respect for Jameis Winston, but this is one of the main reasons why when we have these conversations at the barbershop on social media, the people that are not the best, the Jameis Winston supporters, that's why they feel validated in their criticisms of Jameis Winston. You can't throw the ball into triple coverage. Another example, right? In the red zone, there was a pass that he threw to Shaq Davis and quadruple coverage. You had one timeout, right? You had a wide open check. Now, this was Ellis Merriweather. You had a wide open Ellis Merriweather who wouldn't have scored, right? He wouldn't have scored a touchdown. If he did, it probably would have just been on his own, like, Herculean effort. But he could have caught the ball, got tackled. You could have called the timeout, and pretty much you would have had the same fate, which is a Will Lutz field goal. Sometimes you got to live to fight another day instead of just trying to go out there and trying to be the hero and get carried off the field every single week. But all in all, a lot of up, a lot of down for the New Orleans Saints. Wasn't impressed by the offensive line. Wasn't really impressed by some of the things by Paulson Adebo tonight. I wasn't really impressed by, the penalties. And we can say it's preseason, but we all know that the Saints had issues when it came to penalties in the regular season of last year. So excuse me for being critical of that. In preseason, you're looking at guys that's probably not going to be on nobody football team. They dropping passes, they fumbling the football, they can't block, they can't get pressure. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, I'm more focused on the things that I feel like will hurt the Saints going into the season. And what I seen, that ain't it, bro. That ain't it, especially from guys that are going to be considered starters in the National Football League. But let me go ahead and read some of your comments, then we'll open up the phone lines, and then we'll just go ahead and call it a night, man, and put a nice little bow on week number 2 of preseason for the New Orleans Saints. 207 people watching this right now live. I ask that you hit the like button. I ask that you subscribe to the channel. This is the State of the Saints podcast. My name is TJ Jones. I've been hosting the State of the Saints podcast since 2018, man. We're going into our 6th season. Really excited about this. And thank you so much for tuning in for all the new viewers of this. Hopefully this won't be your last time checking out this podcast. But let me go ahead and read some of the comments here. Jay says the play calls were different. That's because Ronald Curry was actually calling the plays there. Ronald Curry got the opportunity. He's the quarterback's coach, assistant offensive coordinator. So he got the opportunity to call the plays tonight. So that's probably why you say things looked a little bit different, because P. Carmichael didn't call the plays. Jameis does the same thing with starters too. Same story, different string. Yeah, I mean, look, you can't be reckless with the football, man. And look, all I'm saying is, here's the thing. You're going to have people that's coming out here that supports, everything that Jameis Winston does. Look, I support Jameis Winston, but look, I got to call it for what it is. Like, you're looking at somebody that criticized Drew Brees, right? I don't care. Like, you cannot put the ball in harm's way like that. Like, quadruple coverage, bro, that ain't it, man. That is not it. And people will come through with statistics and analytics. Like, bro, there are certain things, like, you can put as much analytics as you want to into something, right? But it means absolutely nothing if you're turning the ball over. It means absolutely nothing if you're putting the ball in harm's way. And even if the wide receivers are coming down with the catch, it's still going to make the coaches and the coordinators kind of screech a little bit about what you're doing. Like, it's good to have athletic wide receivers and all that kind of stuff, but come on, man, you can't always force the issue. And I just think that if Jameis could, like, I feel like this is something that he actually can control. If he was to just take what the defense gives him instead of like just going for the heroics every single time for the most part, or if something breaks down, he just automatically feel like he starts to panic and then all of a sudden just tries to take everything on him. It was one play last week that he had. It was the fact that he kept on getting sacked over and over and over again. So he runs out of the pocket. I want to say he rolls to his left and he throws it into quadruple coverage. So I'm like, man, it's certain things that I feel like he can control. I don't know if it's just the fact that he wants to allow these guys to shine. He's that much of a good teammate that he's willing to, put himself out there in order to help this other guy elevate himself by making a play. That's cool and all, but at the same time, if it doesn't work out, and most of the time it does not, people are going to look at you and be like, man, nah, that ain't it, bro. That's all I'm saying. But, I think that he can fix this issue. I don't think if he can stop himself from trying to make those reckless throws, I think he'll be all right. Let's see. What happened, TJ? Your show is in 4K. Yeah, man. Look, got better camera, got a better lighting. This is actually not the 4K. This is actually not the 4K camera that I'm using. Most of the time, like when I'm actually doing video recordings, that's when I'm using 4K. This is 1080p actually tonight. Let's see. It says Nairo, they need the Singapore cane treatment. His decision making is his downfall. Nothing to do with his talent. Yeah, I mean, he's talented. Jameis Winston is extremely talented. I think we all can agree with that. But it's a lot of recklessness, and that's the reason people feel like he shouldn't be a starter in the league. I feel like he can, because if he can stop doing what he's doing, then he can be a much better player, a much better quarterback. And I just think that people would look at him completely different. I think if the problem is when things start to break down and if he feels like the team needs a spark, he tries to go out there and tries to, generate one, but sometimes it might end up not being the way that you want. Right. But you just gotta take what the defense give you. Like, it's okay to check it down sometimes. It's just because Chris Olave is the receiver that's supposed to get the ball on a play. You know what I'm saying? He's the hot receiver. That doesn't mean that if he got three people around him, you trying to like hold the ball until Chris Olave runs and gets behind the defense and you sling it. Like, check it down. Check it down to Kamara. Check it down to your tight end. It's okay. You don't have to always make the play, right? Sometimes you got to live to fight another day. So if it was quadruple coverage, it was someone else open. Look, I'm telling you, Ellis Merriweather was wide open. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the highlights because it's a red zone situation. Go back and check it out. I'm telling you, Ellis Merriweather, he probably wouldn't have scored. But based on the situation, you're in a red zone. It's third down. And you got one timeout remaining. So, and I want to say it was maybe like 3rd and 5 or something like that. So Ellis Merriweather would have got a first down. Don't know if he would have scored. You would have caught the ball, got a first down. You could have called the timeout and still would have had to kick a field goal instead of trying to put in his quadruple coverage for Shaq Davis, which, I can understand. Shaq Davis is tall. He can jump, all that stuff right there. But come on, man. Live the fight. You got to live the fight another day. No effective running game. O-line played like crap, and we're talking about what Jameis did wrong. Hey, man, let me tell you something, Jerry. Like, straight up. Look, you might have this Jameis Winston beyond reproach type approach to you if you want to. And I'm quite honest with you. Once again, I support Jameis Winston, but I am so sick and tired of some of you Jameis Winston supporters out there that can't see the forest through the trees sometimes. Just because you're critical of a person doesn't mean you don't like them, right? And how many times are we going to keep on using excuses over and over and over again when we're talking about him? Now, was he playing with 2nd and 3rd string offensive linemen? Yes. But goddamn, excuse my French, but damn, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody plays in perfect situations. Patrick Mahomes does not play in perfect situations. Joe Burrow does not play in perfect situations. Like, just people, it seems like when people are talking about, and this is probably what gets on people's nerves, they want the perfect situations for Jameis Winston. The perfect offensive line, the perfect running game, the perfect wide. Nobody gets these things. So you got to be able to perform. You got to be able to elevate the people around you, and you have to make better decisions. I'm sorry. The dude is okay with me, but he doesn't always make the best decisions. I don't understand why y'all sit up here and cape every single time, even in situations where it should be criticized. It's okay to come to his defense where you feel like it is valid. I'm with you if you're talking about him being a starting quarterback in the league, but damn, like everybody want the stars aligned. Like, for real, man, it don't work like that. Do y'all understand? Joe Burrow was sacked 9 times in that run that they went to the Super Bowl. This man was on his behind almost every single play. But guess what? This man still went out there and he won football games. I'm sorry. You cannot have the stars aligned. Nobody has that. You got to be able to use what you got. And he had opportunities. I'm not talking about when the offensive line play. I'm talking about when he had a clean pocket and he had a decision to make. And he made the decision to be the playmaker instead of the play getter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to check it down sometimes. 2 of those plays worked out for him. But you cannot play the quarterback position consistently playing that way. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. That's just the way it works, folks. But I'm just saying, man, every time somebody says something negative about Jameis Winston, here come the capers. Like, for real, man. Like seriously. Like, I'm all about supporting this dude. But hey, man, I ain't about to sit up here and be like not, you know what I'm saying, critical of somebody that I know that can make better decisions. I'm sorry. As far as like, all the other players out there, like I said, the offensive line wasn't very good tonight. I will agree with that. But there was some bad, you know what I'm saying, in this game. And, like I said, you can't always have the perfect situation. Let me go ahead and open up the phone lines, man. Go ahead and open up the phone lines, and we'll just go ahead and go from there. Let me read a few more of the comments. But I ain't make it go, you know what I'm saying, turn it to this, but it is what it is, man. Miller did his thing today. Yeah, he did, man. I was very impressed by Kendre Miller. I think he had a really good bounce back. So that's what's up right there. The team had 14 penalties. Yeah, that's a doggone shame right there. That's the thing that bothers me, because that is something that has been getting carried over from last year. And that's something that I don't want to see. Let's go ahead and go with Kay. Kay, how you doing?
Oh, this Chosen. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, Chosen?
Pretty good, man. Didn't really watch. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I just
Uh-huh.
pretty much want to speak on like some of the little things I did see with the game. I'm gonna go back and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Get a good full chance. I hear a lot of people say it's preseason. Why we nitpicking and doing this? Like, let me tell y'all something. That's when it starts. This is when you want to do all your nitpicking. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? This is when you
Right.
want to do your cleaning because little things become big things. And the more you ignore it, you know what I'm saying? Just because you got away with a bad pass or bad plays, that don't
Right.
necessarily mean it's going to work out. You don't want to get complacent with, oh, I got away with it. I put the ball in the harm's way on this play, on that play. Because there's going to be a time where teams going to zero in on that. And it's
Mm.
going to be like, damn, well, I should have. Ain't no I should have, I could have. This is the time now, bro, when it
Right.
don't matter. We can't sit up here and say it's a preseason to celebrate when we do good, but you look down on the preseason when you make a mistake. It don't go hand in hand. Either it
Right.
matters or it don't. It matters. If we say preseason matter when we win, it should matter when it's time to critique. Man, like this is the time to do it. That energy, that mentality, all that carries over to the regular season. 9 times
Right.
out of 10, bro. If you making mistakes in the in preseason, you're doing it in practice. You're gonna do it in the game.
Right.
You gotta train yourself every day. Every situation should be a live game situation. We need to get out of this. It's a pregame. It's pregame mind frame. No, that's lazy. That's lazy, bro. Because what's gonna change? What's gonna change from this Sunday to that Sunday? If you're doing it in preseason, you're gonna do it in a real game. Let's
Yep.
clean up what we gotta clean up now. All this stuff matters, bro. Like right now, it's the time to. This is the time to critique. Because when the regular season starts, we only got what? You only play that team for that week.
Yep.
After that Monday, we do our final thoughts. It's time to go on to the next team. Ain't no looking back. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You got to keep
Right.
rolling. So we just got to clean up what we got to clean up now, TJ. And I'm gonna let you go ahead and rebuttal, man.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm all for like with the with the cleaning up and everything like that. And I definitely agree with you about things that you see as far as in the preseason can go into the off season and in the regular season, excuse me, because
Mhm.
here's the thing, man. We seen this all last year. Like
Right.
people like to do a preseason, man. It's holding. Like man, we gonna get it fixed. Nah, man. No, like those are the type of things that creep into our mind and be like, man, has this team really changed? Like what I'm saying, you can look at it two ways. You can say a lot of the starters didn't dress, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to have a disciplined football team. I mean,
Exactly.
14 penalties, man, is just totally unnecessary. I don't care if you're playing in preseason or the regular season. They need to get that situation checked. Now, I'm really concerned about this offensive line too, man. Seriously.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, we holler about all these players. Y'all do realize, I know everybody not gonna make it, but some of these players, that's gonna be our depth. That's
Right.
going to be your depth. Like you want your depth to be just as disciplined. Like Colin Sanders said last week, when your guys go out, y'all should be able to come in and we don't miss a beat. I'm not
Right.
saying they gotta be those starters, but damn, you ain't gotta be. You still gotta, like you said, gotta be disciplined, bro. You gotta respect the game. The mistakes that's going on, that's happening right now,
Right.
it don't matter if you're a starter, a bench player, high school, college. It has to be corrected, bro. It's our discipline and it's self-inflicted wounds. There we go, kicking ourselves again, bro. There we go, and we're gonna be mad in the regular season. They're gonna be TJ, why this, why that, why this, why that. Because you didn't correct it. Last year we was doing the same thing. Week one, we kept saying TJ, we kept giving the team excuses. Well, it's just week one. They got time. They gonna get it together. And then before you know it, that was the reality.
Yeah.
That was the reality, bro. So let's get it out the way now. It's not nitpicking. It's not us being petty. It's no when you know you got a good football team, bro, and when you know you have expectations, it's the
Mm-hmm.
little stuff. The little stuff becomes the big stuff when you ignore it. The
Right.
little stuff is so much important, bro. So this year we need to focus on everything. Leave no stone unturned. That window's still open. I still believe it. This really like Dennis Allen. Oh, and Dennis Allen, before I go, I'm glad he's starting to show some emotion now.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's not
agree.
forced. It's not forced. It don't feel like he rehearsed this. It's starting to show that he really has a grasp on this team. Now last year that was Sean Payton guy, so he probably felt like, well, I don't really want to, jump.
Right.
But see, now you can tell he's invested. Like that
Right.
was Sean Payton money he was playing with. Now this come out my pocket. Now this is
Right.
my face on this thing. This
Right.
gotta work. So I'm
Yep.
glad to see he embracing his role, and I'm glad to see he putting his foot down more. And that's what you want, bro, because your team is only gonna go as far as the leader. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? Attitude reflects leadership.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jules said on Remember the Titans, that's real, bro. So we all gotta come together. We're gonna clean it up. I'm happy we got the win, but like DA say, bro, it's so much we gotta work on in practice, and we just gotta get this stuff done because you don't want those little things going over the regular season, man. That's all I got though, bro.
Yeah, man. Look, I appreciate the call, Chosen, man. Call back anytime, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, man, he got some valid points, man. You know, like, yeah, I seen some fire in Dennis Allen's eyes, but I agree with what Chosen just said. You know, I think it has a lot to do with him having an investment. This is his baby, and it's make or break for him, and he understands that. And you know, a lot of the guys that are in here in the building is because he wanted them in there. So, you know, he feels like he can coach them the way that he wants to coach them, and also the comfortability of having guys that you actually selected is a plus as well. So yeah, that's good to see that from Dennis Allen. Hopefully, you know, he can bring that fire into the regular season, and hopefully he can bring it to the locker room and in a facility where they can clean up some of these issues. Brian Edwards may go. I guess you mean go for real. Let's see who that TJ Dana, giving a shout out to Dana. Offensive line committed 100-yard in penalties, but Jameis has a to nip it in the bud. Hey, bro, like, man, I don't, man, bruh, they're like for real. Like, do you understand? Like, they're more like New Orleans Saint like to talk about, right? I mean, like, and then here's the reality, bruh. You ain't going to change my mind about how I feel about what happened on tonight or anybody else's. That's just what it is. Like, you can ask as many questions as you want to, but you can feel free to call in. The link is down there if you want to have a conversation to talk about, you know, why the stars got to be aligned and the moon got to be over here. And, you know, the furniture got to be right here. The armoire got to be over here for Jameis Winston. You know, like, come on, man, call in. And like I said, I don't have anything against Jameis Winston, but, man, it seems like we need perfect conditions for this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just don't work like that. That's just the reality where we live in. We're going to go to Keen Arthur. Keen Arthur, how you doing, man?
Man, what's down with you, bro? I would be doing better if, one, we didn't have so many penalties this game, and two, if this chat would relax and act like adults, bro. Like, Kendrick, TJ, I got a couple of bones to pick, bro. I got to get at this chat for a second, if you don't mind. Say, bro, ain't nobody, especially over here on the State of the Saints podcast, is above reproach. You hear me? And that includes y'all in the chat. Just because you critique somebody, just because you want, nobody critiques you if they don't want you to do better. Because if I really wanted you to fail, I would let you continue doing the stuff that's causing you your demise. That makes no sense. So just like Drew Brees ain't above reproach, I like Jameis too, but he ain't above reproach. You hear me? Here's the thing, TJ. You may not know this, bro. I've been a mixed martial artist for the better part of 13 years. I was always taught in training. If you wouldn't do it in training, if you wouldn't do it if you wouldn't do it in training, don't do it in a fight. Because those bad habits carry over. So if you're in training, you need to train as if that training is a fight. Same thing with the football. If you in preseason, if you in practice, you're in the off season, you should not be practicing nothing that you wouldn't do on that field when it's game time. You hear me? So y'all got to get out y'all feelings, bro. Just because you critiquing somebody, you can't conflate that with us hating somebody. That don't mean we hate you, bro.
Man, that's the society that we live in. You know, people, when they hear you talking or saying something critical about somebody, they got that old saying, I don't know where it came from, you got to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't understand. Like, you gotta like, if you say something critical about somebody, that means that you don't like them or you don't respect them. Look, I am critical of them because I do respect them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not going to sit up here and do that. And honestly, I don't care, man, because like, let me just keep it 100, keep it a buck, man. Half of the people that's around here talking couldn't throw a party for their mama. You know what I'm saying? Can't break down no footage, offensive, defensively, special teams, and nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're too blind to a point where you can't see obvious, then, man, I don't want to roll with you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, they're the type of people that have you out here looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if my shirt untucked at the back. You know what I'm saying? like, let me know if I got a booger in my nose. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. Let me know. You know, but man, that's just the way things go, man. You got anything else, man?
That's the crazy thing, TJ. We always saying, let's be real. How often you hear that on a daily basis, bro? That phrase, let's be real, let's be real. Be 100, be 100. How often you hear that?
Man, all the time.
So why is it that when people actually be real with you and tell stuff like it is, y'all say, oh, you hating. Oh, you need to be nice. If you wanted me to be honest with you, then you wouldn't be expecting me to live on a script. You wouldn't be expecting me to say stuff just to make people feel good or go with the popular opinion. You heard me? You want me to call stuff like it really is instead of reassuring what you believe is the truth. Right. Man, y'all chat ninjas got to get it together, dog. Like, y'all know TJ, y'all know how he get down. He call it down the middle. And that's how we supposed to do in the Who That Nation. Because us holding each other accountable and these players and stuff like that will get us the best product on the field on the Sundays, on the Thursdays, on the Mondays. And y'all got to cut it out, bro.
And here's another thing. You know, for all those people out there, they're gonna validate this by putting up like numbers and all that kind of stuff there. Like, keep your analytics. Like, seriously. Like, analytics don't always tell the entire story. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be like, man, this person, man, he completed 80% of it passes and this and this at this particular time and 7 p.m. at night when he rolled to his right. Like, who gives a damn? The reality is, if you can play in crucial situations, and how can you perform consistently on the field? Don't matter. Like, don't matter what your numbers looking like. Ain't nobody gonna be like, well, you know what? He did complete 70% of his passes in the middle of the, like, who cares? Like, man, how many times did you get in this end zone? Like, how many times did the team get put on your back and you delivered the goods? Like, if we ain't talking about that, man, we ain't talking about nothing. And, you know, like, I ain't about to sit up here and talk about players with kid gloves. You know, it's what it is. Like, if that's what you want the fluff, go somewhere else. You know, but as the State of the Saints podcast is concerned, I keep it as I just keep it as real as I possibly can. I'm sorry.
Well, I will say this, TJ, and I'm gonna let you go. A couple of bright spots for me, big dog. Brian Brissett and surprisingly Peyton Turner.
Yeah, Peyton Turner looked good tonight.
Yeah, and the kicking. That's the biggest bright spot for me. I think both of them boys made all their field goals.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just say this, big dog. I'm glad we got the win. But like Chosen said, you can't say that, oh, it don't matter, it's preseason and stuff like that when we losing, or we gonna get it together. Y'all starting to sound like Dennis Allen from last year. Talking about we gonna clean it up, But then when we win, oh yeah, boy, we 16, 17 and 0, you heard me? 17 and 0. We about to go second line and do the skip and all that. Yeah. You can't have it both ways, bro. Either it's important or it's not. And I'm on the side that it's important because you shouldn't be practicing nothing that you wouldn't actually do in a game, dog. And that's all I got for you, big homie.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, kid, dog, man. Call back anytime.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, look, man, you gotta fix these issues because these issues can easily go into the regular season. We seen that happen. And like I said, man, as far as all this other stuff, man, ain't nobody gonna change my mind about what I feel. I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. We got some throw it off people in this chat. Let's see. Lutz got some competition back there now, but he ain't trying to miss nothing. Well, sometimes that's what you need, man. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes, you know, that's just the way that it goes. But all right, we're gonna go to Josh. Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, TJ? Before we get into anything, I just want to say, now that I know that King Arthur is a mixed martial artist, I want to see King Arthur versus Conor McGregor right here on the State of the Saints podcast.
Well, shoot, if that ever happens, that's too rich for my blood right there. I'm pretty sure they probably going to look for the Joe Rogans of the world to call that one, man. But Josh,
man, what?
No, I was just saying thank you, man, for chiming in. What you got for us?
Okay, so man, I'm going to read you some stats here, man, because I'm getting into that. I'm leading to something, and this is the rushing game stats. Okay. Miller 10 for 23 yards.
Okay.
Williams 8 for 17. Merriweather 5 for 15. This is awful, and I know the line and everything, but here's the thing: you guys know how hard I've been on Pete Carmichael, right? I don't have a whole lot of faith in him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Pete Carmichael can do a lot more with the passing game because now we have Derek Carr and a good core of receivers. But he showed last year that he can't do a whole lot with the running game. He's not good at coming up with runs. And so I think in games that we have to depend on the run for whatever reason, defenses figure out how to shut down our passing attack.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of screwed, even though we've got a really good backfield, you know? And I think this is part of the reason that Sean Payton only let what did Pete Carmichael call 7 plays in 5 years or something? There's got to be a reason that Sean Payton only let him call that number of plays, right? Pete does not know what to do with the run. You could have Derrick Henry and A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara back there, and I don't think Carmichael could come up with a good running scheme. I really just don't. But that's what I got to say about. That's what I'm worried about as far as like the future. I know there's other issues, but I'm really worried about another talented backfield looking like crap because Pete Carmichael don't know what to do, and so I'll turn it over to you on that.
Well, I mean, the offensive line did not look good tonight. As far as like the running game is concerned, I don't know if he doesn't have what it takes, or it's just the fact that maybe what I'm saying, they didn't utilize the run as effectively. But you can't say they did decide to fire their running backs coach that they had to try to bring in a new one. And also it was Ronald Curry calling the plays tonight. So maybe that, I don't know, that had something to do with it or not. But
yeah, but Pete
also,
was giving him the plays. I mean,
but also you also have to take into account nobody's going to show their hands in preseason like that, Josh. Even if the Saints do bring some new offensive running concepts, they're not going to show that. A lot of what we're seeing in preseason is more like watered down offenses, like simplistic defenses. Like nobody really showing the blitz, nobody coming up with anything exotic. They're just trying to put some tape out there to try to see some things they can work on. That's why a lot of the one-on-one blocks and stuff like that, they're not, doing too many stunts. They're not doing too many things like that. So I can't say that they can't be effective as a running team until we get into the regular season. But if I see what I saw tonight, I will concede to you and say, yeah, you're right. But I would like to see it in regular season first.
Well, let me ask you something, man. I'd like your opinion on this. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Pete Carmichael called something like 7 plays in 5 years with Sean Payton. What is your opinion of why Pete Carmichael was only allowed to call that number of plays in a lot of years?
Well, because it's Sean Payton's baby. Sean Payton is was the offensive coordinator before he became a head coach. And in most cases, you see that, Josh. When you have a coach that is known for being an offensive coordinator coming from that particular pedigree, you'll see them actually calling the plays. And they'll probably have an offensive coordinator where they can have. But just because, he didn't call plays doesn't mean that, he wasn't instrumental at some of the things that were called. He was involved in the install when they decided to come up with a game plan from week to week. And, like I said, I think it had a lot to do with Sean Payton, wanting to call the plays. I don't think it had anything to do with Pete Carmichael.
All right. Well, I guess my last thing is, man, I want to clear up something where I was wrong. Remember how I told you a couple weeks ago, I don't think the Saints are a Super Bowl contender? Yeah. I might be wrong about that, man. I took a look at the actual schedule, and boy, is that an easy cake schedule. I mean, that's the kind of schedule that you'd hope for. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, I mean, we're only playing like 2 or 3 elite teams the whole season.
Yeah. Well, so hopefully they can get it done. Hopefully they can get it done and take advantage of a schedule that people would consider easy.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. That's all I got for you tonight, man. I'm gonna go to bed pretty soon here, but yeah. Well, I gotta go to bed, man. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But
I hear you, man. I appreciate the call in. Make sure that you call back anytime, Josh.
Okay. Thanks, brother.
All right. Take care. Yeah, man. Shouts out to Josh. I'm kind of with you on that. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up these calls, and then we'll read a few more comments, and then we'll call it a night. We're gonna go to God of Creation. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. What you got for us, man?
Man, everybody tripping on the penalties. I ain't gonna lie, like it had me aggravated during the whole thing, but then I sat back and like I thought about it. I'm like, hopefully none of those bums I was causing it is gonna ever be out there on the field. So I'm not. You know what I'm saying? If I see one of those, guys out there on that field during regular season, then my heart's gonna drop to my stomach. But besides that, hey, look, man, it's gonna be rough edges. No team is perfect. Not even the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, there's everything you can work on, all that extra stuff. But man, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of didn't like our secondary. Paulson and Debo.
Mixed bag, huh? Yeah, it was a mixed bag out
Boy.
there. Yeah.
Man, oh my goodness.
I mean, look, here's the thing about it. Okay, I will concede and say he wasn't going up against some chopped liver there. Quentin Johnston is a really good wide receiver. Like, we got to remember.
Yeah, but he got experience on him.
It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, if a dude a beast, he a beast. I don't care. Look, I don't care how long you been in the league. We seen some seasoned veterans out there, get whooped and beat to sleep by some of the best wide receivers. Like, so I mean, you can't say, oh man, he a year 3, nah, bro. Like Quentin Johnston is a special wide receiver. I know he kind of dropped in the draft because of his speed and all that kind of stuff there, but he has always been a consistent receiver, and I think he's gonna be eventually gonna be the best receiver that the Chargers have. I think he's gonna end up being the number one in the next 2 to 3 years. He's that good, man. But he is. Yeah, but when you talk about the penalties, the hands to the face, I agree with you on that one. You got to get better at doing that. But the secondary, they left a lot to be desired. But they did.
Yeah, but we kind of knew this though. I feel like that's why we try to get what was his name, Trey Turner.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, and he got hurt, which was Saints luck, to the highest extent. So that's really, I feel like we easily are, as far as record wise, could be a top 5 team in the NFC. Looking at the schedule, as long as that offensive line can pretty much hold strong. I don't, like what's the name said, we only play like maybe 2 to 3 really tough teams, the Jags and maybe Green Bay or something like that. So
right.
There was that wide receiver, what's his name, last name, he's number 11. Oh my goodness, man, he gotta go. Lucas Crawl, man, I'm sorry, he needs to go too, bro. Jared Cook out there, man.
He got that hot butter popcorn on his hands, man. Like, man, there can't catch a cold at 40 below, man. I mean, God dog, bro.
Oh my goodness,
all in your hands, man. I mean, you talking about fumbling the bag. He has opportunities. Right. Like they gave him plenty of opportunities, like to make plays.
Yeah, they did.
He
didn't capitalize.
News. Like, I don't say he didn't capitalize. It was just a mixed bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
how do you think of
yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, for sure. What'd you think of Jake Kainer's game? This game, how'd you think he played compared to last week?
I think he did a really good job. I think he played better this week than he did last week. A lot, like if you go back and watch, some of the plays, a lot of the plays wasn't his fault that he didn't make. He was putting the ball where it needed to be. The pass that he threw. The pass that he threw to Brian Edwards, that was a good pass. He threw like one play to Lucas Crawl in the back of the end zone. Should have been a touchdown. I mean, he played, to me, he played better this week than he did last week. And that's what you want from a rookie.
Right. Yeah, that's all you can ask for is just the, players to get better each and every day. We still, I feel like there's still some players we need to see more from, like Isaiah Foskey. Like, God, boy, man, where I don't even know what number he is. Like, I'm not even joking. I Kid you not. I have no idea what number his jersey is.
Yeah, and Dennis Allen chewed him out, man. Because I mean, look, I don't know, man. His motor run too cold for me. Like seriously, I don't know if it's the fact that he's nervous about being in the league, thinking too much. I don't know what it is, but the dude to me, man, looking really. I ain't gonna say he's soft, but he looking very soft-ish. You know what I'm saying? And
He looking very like a nothing burger.
no, he just looks soft. Like I'm not saying these aren't things that he can't overcome, but I'm just saying, man, like my dude looking kind of soft out there, man. Like low motor, half speeding it, undisciplined. Like, man, you got to do better, man. And I agree with what Dennis Allen saying. Man, this dude was a second-round draft pick. All right. I ain't trying to see no more Stanley Jean Baptistes out there. You know what I'm saying? Where you just waste a second-round pick on somebody that ain't got no real talent, nothing to bring to the table at all. Like, seriously, like he got to do better. I'm sorry. I know he's young. I know this is his second game as an NFL professional. And like I said, if it was about just being out there and just being out of position, that'll be one thing. But I'm seeing half-hearted efforts, and that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me, man. You got anything else?
Yeah.
Let you go, man.
Yeah. Who I'll say, for players, who you think impressed you the most, who impressed you the least, and who you think needs more work?
As far as like who impressed me the most, just by like their grit and effort and being out there. I mean, you got to say Kendre Miller. I mean, this is a guy who we thought probably was going to be missing a substantial amount of time. Like this dude had an MCL issue. People were talking about it was like inches away from being something serious and major. And yet this dude is out here like catching passes, on a wheel route. I mean, he looked like a wide receiver on that play. And also just, the run for the touchdown just shows his burst and his speed. So I'm impressed in that regard. Of course, I'll put Jake Haener in there, who we just talked about. Who impressed me the least? As far as today, who impressed me the least?
I guess throughout both last weekend.
That offensive line as a staff, organization, and crew. That's what.
Oh my goodness!
I'm disappointed in Trevor Penning tonight. Like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, I know some people trying to get him to make it, but I'm not squinting the eye here when it comes to a guy that's being a starter. This guy's going to be a starter. Like, I get if Shaq Davis,
he a top 20 pick.
Yeah, if Shaq Davis throws, he was a top. No, I don't think he is. Was he? Yeah, he was. Like, I'm just saying this. If we were talking about Shaq Davis or something like that with a like mixed bag performance, okay, you know what I'm saying? He probably gonna be on practice squad at best, right? But we talking about a guy that's gonna be protecting Derek Carr's blind side. And if I'm squinting and I'm looking, he got beat on this play, but he did good this time. Like, no, like this dude's job is important. Like if he protects the quarterback's blind side. So if he getting whooped by guys like that, you know what I'm saying, that have that athletic ability. I mean, you got to think about all the athletic defensive ends he gonna have to face on a consistent basis. No, man, he did not look good. He was getting whooped. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he won his matchup sometime. Like, he stonewalled the guy, but bruh, too much of a mixed bag. I'm getting too many Charles Brown vibes. Some of y'all probably know Charles Brown here. If you don't, look it up. I'm getting them type of vibes from Trevor Penning, man. And maybe the Saints may need to, like, I don't know, slide him in the inside or something like that, because maybe he can't handle the speed of those outside pass rushes. But God of Creation, I got to go ahead and let you go, man. I got a few more phone calls to get to, but thank you so much, man.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate it. And love Jameis, man. Let that boy live, man.
Yeah, I love Jameis, man. But, hey, man, we got to keep it 100, man. like, I love him, but, hey, no matter who you are, the best player on the field, man, if you put forward a performance that's kind of up and down, I got to let people know. But thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Call back anytime.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Look, I have no problem with Jameis Winston whatsoever at all. I have no problem with any of these players. If they come on and they perform and they do well, I will big up them and I will sing their praises. But if I see something that's concerning, guess what? I'm gonna say it. I mean, that's just how it goes, man. I have to. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't sugarcoat that. Let's go to Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
TJ? What's
Hey, how you
happening?
doing? All right, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
What you got for us,
yeah.
man?
Been listening to your podcast for a few years, man. It's my go-to podcast, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
one.
that. Thank you so much, man.
But anyways, Hainer out there, he looked good. He looked sharp, comfortable, quick decisions. It was like a 360. Listen, I'm as much of a Jameis fan as the next guy. Even if you replace Jameis' arms with Taysom Hill's arm, I would still want him on my team because I love Jameis. But you got to call it like you see it, like you said.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, look, it's not a knock or anything like that. Like I said, I still respect him. I still think that he's a really good quarterback. But look, this may be controversial too. But I feel like Jake Haener played better than he did. Like I'm being serious. Like
just being real.
If I look tonight, if somebody told you like they just came down randomly, don't know nothing about no ball or nothing, right? And they say one of these dudes has been in the league for 8 seasons, 9 seasons, and one guy is a rookie, which one would you believe? And honestly, it wouldn't be Jake Haener that you would think would be in a rookie. Like he played well tonight. Like you said, the decisions that he was making, the quick decisions, the passes that he was throwing. And like I said, that's not an indictment on Jameis. There was some good things too, but all I'm saying is Jake Haener, to me, looked better than Jameis Winston as a quarterback tonight.
And that, I don't know if it was his first drive, but he was humming down the field, and then he got taken out for the concussion evaluation.
Right.
And what happened? The drive stalled completely. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jameis had a bad night because Jameis looked good yesterday when he was not yesterday. I mean, last week.
Last week. Yeah, the 120 QBR. Threw a touchdown. Good pass to A.T. Perry. Like I said, I mean, but that's the thing. Like that, we all know that Jameis Winston has a lot of positive equity because of his arm talent, his skill set, or what have you. But he also has, certain qualities that are questionable that people have these debates. That's why he's so polarizing. Yep. Man, I promise you, man, this is no joke, Jordan. I sent out a tweet about Jameis Winston maybe like a week ago. It's probably a week to the day. There are still people going at each other on this same tweet line right now. You know what I'm saying? Like about Jameis Winston. Like that's how much, that's how much energy people put into critiquing this guy. I get it. But I also understand why people love him. I understand why people, may be skeptical about him.
Yeah.
And, you got anything else, man?
I got about 2 more things, quick things. Foskey, we already touched on that. He hasn't shown up yet, but he's a rookie. You got to give him time. I haven't gave up on him yet.
Oh no, not at all.
But Bercy, he's showing out good. His motor's hot.
Yeah, and fumble recovery there. Just a couple opportunities he had, like he was in the backfield. I got it. Oh yeah, somebody asked me. I want to say it's God of Creation who had the best performance. Malcolm Roach to me probably had the best performance tonight, like on the defensive line. Like he was disrupting a lot of plays. So yeah, I think Malcolm Roach, if I had to choose like a person that just really stood out to me, like out of everyone, if I just think about it, it's probably gonna be Malcolm Roach. I think he did an outstanding job tonight.
What I took from the game was a mixed bag. Roach did make plays, but I saw his motor get cold at times before the half ended. I don't know if he was gassed or what, but I was just saying, wow, that was a bad effort. I just remember thinking that on a couple plays.
Well, but I think it's probably conditioning too. I mean, I want to say it was. I know what you're talking about. I think it was doing a 2-minute drill. Chargers had the ball. Easton Stick was just trying to get the ball down the field, and man, these guys, they're out here trying to get back into football shape. But you got to think about like they play only a few reps, and then they on the sideline for the rest of the game. So they went a little bit longer than normal. So, but hopefully
like he was jogging around the block.
Yeah. So hopefully, the conditioning will be able to build up. But what I did see in the running game and also in the passing game, I was impressed based on like where he was like in the first 3 seasons of his career.
Yeah, and the penalties. I mean that's rolling over from last season. I don't want to sound like Dennis Allen, but you got to clean that up.
Right.
Gotta clean it up.
Yeah, you
But
gotta
I'm
clean it
excited,
up,
man. I'm excited for the season, but
Yeah.
I'm apprehensive, man, because same vibe as last preseason. I felt like Jameis Winston had the same type of drive Derek Carr did last preseason, and he marched down the field, and I was like, oh my God, our offense looks so good.
Good
and then,
point.
you know, everyone knows what happened last season.
Exactly.
But I hate to be that guy, but I'm still excited. Derek Carr, obviously, I mean, new face, so we can see what he can do.
Right.
But yeah, and couple more things, or one more thing, sorry. Week 1 against the Titans, I'm excited for, like I said.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna put out a message to the Who Dat Nation. I'm gonna be at that game, but I am 0-4 in the dome. So don't panic if we lose that game, because it's par for the course when I go to the games.
Hey, some people gonna be like, man, maybe Jordan need to stop going.
Yeah, I might just watch it from a bar or something.
Nah, seriously, man. Look, it's not anything to do with that. Of course, we know we just joke around.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, they're gonna go up against a team in the Tennessee Titans that like to run the ball. And you know, what are we seeing? Yesterday, if you are watching this on a Sunday, I seen Tajay Spears out there form a 2-lane green wave, like had a really good run. And then you also combine that with Derrick Henry. The Saints better bring their big boy pass in week 1, because the Titans play smash mouth football to set up that play action, and they better be ready, man. But all in all, I'm excited about what this season can be, but I'm kind of like you. I'm apprehensive as well, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put any bets down, but I'm excited. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can give us a good season.
I'm gonna let you go, TJ. Who that?
Yeah, who that, man? Jordan, thank you so much, man. Shouts out to Jordan, man. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up on the phone lines with no cap, no filter. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What you got for us?
Just to piggyback off the last caller, yeah, we play the Titans. I feel like Mike Vrabel is who Dennis Allen, thinks he is or wants to be. That smash ball football team. But they more disciplined. And they've been dealing with a lot of injuries too. Like the Saints, the Ravens, and the Titans been dealing with so much injuries. So we're gonna have to bring our lunchbox, because that's just a blue collar team right there.
Yeah, man. Smash them out.
Yeah, they real good up front. They real big, so we're gonna have to get real physical to meet that physicality with them. And that'll prepare us for the playoffs when we meet teams of the likes of the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. But as far as the run game go, I'm not worried about our run game at all. Unless Pete just getting away from the run real quickly and all that, like how Sean used to do. That'd probably be the only thing I'll be worried about. But other than that, we got a good ass backfield. Like people was saying, oh, Alvin Kamara is looking like his old self, and like Alvin Kamara always been good. This dude always been explosive. It just last season, he had this case weighing over his head. He didn't know what was going to be the outcome of his punishment. The O-line wasn't making any holes because they was always hurt. I don't think that O-line ever played 3 consecutive games fully together, but the O-line wasn't making no holes. They was always hurt. He was getting used improperly. And on top of that, I'm not sure if you follow him like that on social media, but I believe he was going through a breakup with that basketball player girl from the Sparks or whatever.
Right.
I don't think he have any pictures with her up. He used to always post it. I think he was going through a breakup, and he said he was losing friends. Probably was losing a lot of contract deals and stuff too, with like sponsorships and stuff after that. So, of course you're not going to look like how you supposed to look. But if the O-line is healthy, our quarterback 1 is in, Michael Thomas is in, and the defense ain't just got a key in on him, he's going to be real special like he always been, so I'm not worried about that. Now, as far as the O-line go, we got a solid O-line. We got a solid O-line across the board. But as far as the backups go, I'm happy about, us having Pete as the backup. Like, people talk all they want about Pete, but at the end of the day, the way he made it to the Pro Bowl or not, he still made it to the Pro Bowl. And if you can have that as your backup, and hopefully Nick Salisbury pick it up, that's 7 good O-linemen you got. Any team will kill for that. So we just gotta hope the starters really stay healthy so we can have them aces in the hole with Nick Salisbury. And don't not to mention Pete could play tackle and center. But as far as Penning, I was one of the people who said, man, I think Penning might gotta play left guard, because when we play teams like the Cowboys and we play teams like, with these good ends and these good linebackers, he's gonna have trouble. And it's like, I know he missed last season. He missed a whole bunch of times in getting that experience. Right. But if you look at the Bucks, they just put Wirfs on the left tackle side. And I was telling people why we can't just do that with Ram, and everybody like, oh, it's different and all that. Well, we've been doing that with people already. We've been doing that with Pete. We've been doing that with Ruiz. Why? Dog, he just so big. I'll be so much comfortable with him checking with him blocking people like Aaron Donald and Justin Simmons and guys like that. Where he could just be, not on no man's land on the island by himself with these speedy pass rushers.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look.
So
I think they need to. I think they. Yeah. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Just let me get this out the way, and then you could just talk about my points. But as far as what I think we need another receiver. As good as A.T. Perry and Shaq Davis look, like I don't want to get what happened to us with Marquez Callaway again. Like if Michael Thomas go down, I don't think we got no chance. So I just want to get insurance and be proactive. Like the Rams, they went and got Von Miller, even though they had Aaron Donald. They went and got Quentin. They went and got Robert Quinn. And they got lucky and got Odell because I just think we was injured. We was gonna get Odell. But they got lucky and got Odell when Robert Woods went down. Tom Brady, they had Godwin and they had Evans, but they still went got Gronk. They still went got AB. Like we need to be proactive and get these guys, especially if, these coaches gonna, just buckle down in crucial moments, even if it's a bad play call. If you got talent on the field that could win, it's not gonna matter. Just like when we played the Bucks and the cornerback was like, oh, I knew that route was coming. But if Michael Thomas did that same route, even if you know it was coming, it don't matter if Michael called a bad play because we got the talent to make up for it. Just like with all these penalties, we got the talent to make up for it. I just think we got more depth than the Chargers when it comes to, their backups versus our backups today. Except that O-line. That O-line looking bad. But that's them as a whole. Like, them as a whole not going to be out there unless something catastrophic just happened, like that we've been experiencing over the years. But I think we need another pass catcher, and I think we need another pass rusher. Like we need to go get the quarterback. I know we got a good secondary. I know we can hold teams, to a low scope. But at the same time, I want a good pass rusher that's going to disrupt the game. I mean, wreak havoc on the game. I don't want to just rely on our backups if Mike Thomas go down to get separation and to make these contested catches. And I don't want to rely on guys like, Peyton Turner and Carl Granderson and stuff,
Right.
Yeah, we got a good secondary. We could force some coverage sacks or whatever. And yeah, we probably could do some stunts and all this and all that. But man, go get me a dog. Get some people up in here that can send us over the top.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they need better pass rush, in my opinion. I think that's been the issue. And I think that is the reason why they didn't have many turnovers last year, because they couldn't get to the quarterback. And, the quarterback, you got to speed up that clock in his head. And a lot of times when you speed it up, that's what causes the turnovers. That's what caused the interceptions. So, yeah, I would like for the Saints to have a dominant pass rush where, you're getting double-digit sacks and it's making the offense have to second guess itself, But, man, for right now, what I'm saying, what they have as far as what I see on the defensive line, that interior has really been impressive. They got a lot of athletic guys, can not only stop the run, but they also can rush the passer. I don't know if you've seen Cullen Sanders tonight, but man, that guy looked like a linebacker going after Easton Stick. So, then you got Brian Brzee with the fumble recovery. And also, like I said, you also seen Peyton Turner making plays. So, man, hopefully this can be replicated. To me, you're not going to find just the dominant double-digit sack pass rusher on the street right now. If you're looking, maybe some other team, probably has way too much depth and probably is going to let go somebody that can probably fit your scheme. But if you can do that, then that'll be great. But in the meantime, you want to coach up the guys that you have in order for them to be as effective defensively on the line as they can possibly be.
He just got arrested, but I think Robert Quinn could come in this system and get 8 sacks. I just believe he could do that.
I agree.
Yeah, and as far as the defensive tackle, I was worried like you. You said you wanted Calais Campbell. I wanted him too. I was worried. But Colin Sanders really showed me something. Brian Brzee, he's looking as advertised, and Malcolm Roach as a depth piece. I'm really feeling much better about the defensive tackle. I just still want that one pass rusher and that one pass catcher because I don't believe Mike I'm not saying I don't believe Mike will stay healthy, but just be proactive and just go get some insurance. And one more thing before I leave, Jameis Winston, man, I like Jameis Winston. Don't get me wrong, but I think the difference between Jameis Winston and a lot of other quarterbacks, just take Hainer for example, poise, just the poise. Like it's a reason why they said Andy Dalton bring a more calming presence to the offense. It's a reason why they said that. Because I just think Jameis is like when you're looking at him, you just hoping he's not going to make the mistake.
Right.
It's almost as if you holding your breath. But it's like Jake Hainer, even though he a rookie, it's just like you could just see the calmness, you could see the poise, and it's like you ain't really just just worry about you ain't just got those feelings and stuff. And people like Jameis 101, like you say, he could post all those stats and analytics all he want. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I trust my eyes. I trust my eyes. Now I do think Jameis Winston could have a Geno Smith type of season if he was to stay healthy and have the health around him. I think we could have made the playoffs with Andy Dalton if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry would have stayed healthy, because those guys fit him more because they're intermediate. He ain't got no deep arm. So
yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just, I mean, it was just too much of a mixed bag tonight. And like I said, it was one of those situations where, the Jameis Winston detractors can come out and be like, see, that's what I'm talking about right here. You see what he did, right? Like it's too much, it's too much of a mixed bag, and you have to be consistent, especially like when you trying to erase that stigma, man.
Yeah, but he is a good backup for us. And if you watched the 49ers last year, it's important to have a good backup and maybe another good backup. And if you watch the Saints these past couple of seasons, look at all our quarterback injuries and look all our O-lineman injuries. So if you're talking about trading Jameis Winston to the Broncos and Andrews Pete to the Broncos and all that, man, you're going to miss him when you just need that ace in the hole.
Right. Yeah, man. Look, I look at this team. They won tonight, but a lot of things that they have to correct, and hopefully, like I said, they can get it done leading up to that game versus the Tennessee Titans. No cap, no filter. Thank you, man. Appreciate the call. And make sure you call back anytime.
All right, man. Good. Be safe, TJ.
All right, you too, man. Take care. Yeah, shouts out to No Cap, No Filter. Good points right there, man. Yeah, I would love to have a dominant defensive end, opposite of Cam Jordan. I always say, I just feel like, what we look for in Cam Jordan at this stage of his career, I feel like is unfair to Cam Jordan. I'm not saying look at Cam Jordan as a charity case. And yes, I understand that Cam Jordan is playing on a team, so he should be critiqued, and justly. But I just feel like when you basically are one of the iconic figures of the New Orleans Saints, you at this particular point, you should be like taking a victory lap, celebrating your greatness as a New Orleans Saint, leading to your retirement in a couple of years. And these young guys need to be coming in, and be able to generate that double-digit sack. They should be the ones that should be up for Defensive Player of the Year more consistently. They should be the ones that, when the team needs a spark late in the fourth quarter and the opposition has the ball with a 2-minute drill, and they have to be able to make that sack. That's what I feel like the Saints need. And is Peyton Turner that guy? He hasn't been, but he showed flashes tonight. It seems like, he took his offseason regimen more seriously. He's looked like he's more slimmer. It seems like he's more faster, a little bit more explosive. So hopefully that can translate. And also Brian Brzee. Looking at Brian Brzee, seeing what he can do, getting that force of getting that fumble recovery tonight, I know it's just going to build up his confidence going forward. Read a few comments, then we're going to go ahead and call it a night. We'll read some stats, and then we'll call it a night. Says, take the high road, Jerry. Let's see. Winston throws up like 3 balls this game that would have been picked by starters. Let me see. This rookie looks way better than Book. Yeah, man. Jake Haener Jake Haener looks much better than Ian Book. Like Ian Book wishes he had the poise and the accuracy of Jake Haener. Like Jake Haener in the right hands can be a really solid quarterback in the league. I ain't gonna say he can be a starter. I don't know, but he can be a really solid quarterback in the league and provide a spark for a team. Like if their starting quarterback goes down. Atlanta winning the NFC South Division. Who's high tonight? Let's see. We do struggle against mobile quarterbacks. We got to fix that. Hey, that's why they got those athletic guys on the interior. The Colin Saunders, the Brian Brzee, the Nate Shepherds, the Malcolm Roaches. That's the reason why they got them, because they know they have to get more athletic on the line. I'm more concerned about some of those toss plays. You know, those are the things that concern me. Not on Cam Jordan's side, but I'm talking about, like, you know, other guys on the opposite side setting the edge, on the left side setting the edge. You know what I'm saying? Those are the guys that I'm concerned about. You know, those are the guys that concern me. You know, I don't think too many toss plays going to be ran Cam Jordan's way, but it's darn sure going to be ran Peyton Turner, Tano Passingio's way. And that's the thing that concerns me. I hope that they can get that corrected. Already read that one. He also threw one that was dropped and one that was called back because of penalty. Let me see. Burn, you don't even believe that. I don't know what we talking about here. Let's see. It's always a Falcon fan lurking. Go up to the score, bro. Y'all suck compared to us. Well, I don't want to say, look, I see some promising things from the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I ain't going to lie about that, you know, but I just don't think they're going to win the division, though. I don't. I feel like the other teams within the division are a little bit ahead of them. I don't feel like they're going to finish dead last, but, you know, I feel like there's some teams that are a little bit better than them in the division. TJ, we got a Falcon fan. Let's see. Foskey needs to get it together quickly. I agree, because that's the guy they probably looking at to be able to set that edge. And, you know, allowing Ethan Stick to, you know, just basically prance into the end zone, you know what I'm saying, gracefully, is not a good look. Let's see. The young defensive line have to step up and get to the quarterback. I agree. Let's see. Anthony Richardson also threw a pick, Jerry. Yeah, I don't know, man. I understand. I understand what the debate is all about. I mean, you're not going to change anybody's mind. And I learned that. Like, no need to go back and forth when you know you ain't going to change somebody's mind. They're waiting for you to rebuttal so they can basically counteract anything that you're saying, even if you're making valid points, and vice versa. So instead of that, you know, I just try to stay away from it. As my son walks into the room in his pajamas, you know, yeah, just lay right there. We about to finish it up. It says, okay, let's check out these stats. It says Jameis Winston 13 of 21, 161 yards. Jake Hayner 11 of 17, 118 yards. You got Kendre Miller, 10 carries for 23 yards. Darrell Williams 8 carries, 17. Ellis Merriweather 5 catches, 15. Kirkland, he had 1 catch for 8 yards. I think that big play, I don't know if it got called back or something like that, but it was a good catch. Shaq Davis, 3 catches for 63 yards. No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm tripping. The 3 catches for 59 yards by Kirkland. I'm like, did they call that 53-yard catch back? Let's see. Lynn Bowden, 2 catches for 37. Kendre Miller, 3 catches for 36. Lucas Kroll, 3 catches for 30 yards. Lucas Kroll should have had way more yards and had at least a touchdown on here. Ellis Merriweather, 4 catches for 26. AT, 3 catches, 22. And then you also have Brian Brzee with a fumble recovery. Lalos had 3 sacks in this game. Oh, man. And you got Nico Lalos up in here. He better lay los. Let's see. Malcolm Roach, 4 total tackles and 4 solos. And then you have like a list of different guys, you know, that are doing some really good things here. But all in all, man, the New Orleans Saints getting the job done, you know, doing what they need to do in order to get that dub. You know, that's all you can ask for. Some things you got to clean up, some things you got to work on, of course. But nevertheless, you know, I mean, that's why you have these preseason games. Brian Edwards, get him off my team. Offensive line need to get it together. It is, you know, a lot of things like transpired in this game the Saints have to work on, and hopefully they can get it done. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, previous episodes available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Shouts out to everybody that called in on tonight. Thank you to everybody that contribute through the chat. Really do appreciate that as well. Check out the Gumbo Pod Sports website, which is gumbopodsports.com. Also, you can check out Gumbo Pod Sports on Facebook, facebook.com, search Gumbo Pod Sports Podcast. Coming up this week, we will have Steve Weiss on the State of the Saints podcast this week. Steve Weiss from the NFL Network, good friend to the show, coming back, talking to us a little bit about the NFC South and what the Saints have to do to get back into the champion column as far as the NFC South going into the playoffs. And also, we just have some more content on the way this week as the Saints wrap up preseason in a game versus the Houston Texans this week. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.